Hi guys, thank you for clicking on this video. Welcome to No Cut Reviews. This is my third review in 3 days, and the reason is because July 4th is tomorrow, and I'm trying to do reviews of movies and TV shows, of war movies and stuff to celebrate Independence Day and what servicemen and women have done and fought for to give us our independence. So 2 days ago, I did a review of the reboot of Hawaii Five-O that premiered in 2010. Yesterday was Band of Brothers. Those are all in my on my channel in my video section. Today, we'll be doing the second miniseries by HBO that came out like I would say 10, 11 years after Band of Brothers, and it is The Pacific. I don't know if you guys can see that. Hopefully you can. So The Pacific, unlike Band of Brothers, follows the Japan side of World War II. There were two there were two sides. There was the Europe invasion and then the Japan invasion. The Pacific Band of Brothers follows the Europe invasion, the Europe campaign, and the Pacific follows the Japan campaign. I think those were the right words with campaign. If not, I apologize. I like I like Band of Brothers. It is incredible. I think everyone should at least watch that once in their lives. My opinion though, I love the Pacific. I think because of the technology was a little bit better and just you don't in history class from what I remember we learned about both campaigns. We learned about the Europe side with the Nazis and the Germans and Adolf Hitler. And we learned about the Japan side, but not as much as the Europe invasion, Europe campaign. And this one just oh it's really, really good. And in my opinion, I like it more than Band of Brothers. Band of Brothers is great. Do not misinterpret that. Band of Brothers is very well done. Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg knocked it out of the park. I think, in my opinion, they got more focused and they showed how dark the Japan campaign was. Now, I could be wrong, but from all the movies and shows I've seen about World War II and each side, the Europe and the Japan side, I feel like not that I'm taking away from anything anyone went through or sacrificed during the war in Europe, during the Europe campaign. I respect everyone who served in that campaign, anyone who died. There's no words. So please don't misinterpret this. But from all the media and news and history that I've read and watched over the years, I feel like the Japan campaign was worse. It was just, it was darker, it was scarier, it was grittier, and the Pacific shows that. And the men and women who, mostly men at this time, I'm sorry, no disrespect to any woman who did their part during this time, but the men who fought during World War II, it was mostly men at this point, unfortunately, they went through other they it was it was bad. I'm not saying it wasn't bad in Europe. I am not saying that. I just feel like from all the things I've learned and watched over the years, the Japan side was worse. The Japanese were just a different kind of enemy, and they got into the soldiers' heads. It mentally, I have a feeling like the men who fought in the Japan side, the Japan campaign, oh, their mentality, I feel they, whew, it was bad. It was bad. And anyone who survived, thank you. Anyone who fought or died or contributed in any way, thank you. And this show, The Pacific, illustrates that darkness, that mental breakdown that I feel like that side experienced more than the Europe side. I'm not saying the Euro campaign and the soldiers who fought in Europe in Germany and all that did not go did not experience hell. I am sorry for saying that word, but it is the best word to describe it. Both sides experienced bad stuff. I'm trying to keep this as PG as I can. Both sides experienced bad. It was bad on both sides. I just feel like the conditions, the mentality, like the Japanese built tunnels. They came out of tunnels in thousands upon thousands. They were in jungles with trees and and leaves that just hid them. And it was any soldier walking through that, and they were terrified because you're like, you hear a sound. Is that a bird? Is that a soldier? I just feel like the Japan side was scarier. I real and I feel like the Pacific illustrated that perfectly. The other difference, other than focusing on the Japan side, is that the Pacific focuses more on three particular soldiers, and then the interactions those soldiers have with other soldiers. But they focus on three main characters, if you will: Robert Leckie, John Basilone, and Eugene Sledge. And each of their stories is unique, and each of their stories is very similar because it they all break in some way, shape, or form, and you see it. And the actors who portrayed these men, because just like Band of Brothers, these were real men, these were real soldiers. The actors who portrayed these real life beings did a phenomenal job. And all the other actors who showed up that these characters interacted with, came in contact with, did very well with their characters. I feel like this one is much darker, not in just lighting, which there are a lot of night scenes, and it's so terrifying because the way they filmed it, you can't see anything. And they really put you in that mindset. It's like, oh my gosh, like you can't see anything. It's like, wow. So yeah, that one, yeah. But also, I just feel like it's darker in tone. I feel like there's blood and gore in Band of Brothers, but I feel like it is so much worse because the Japan campaign was, in my opinion, a lot worse, and they didn't get as much break time as the soldiers in Europe did. Their break time was going to another cruddy island. that wasn't much better than where they were. They weren't being shot at, but temperature wise, animals, bugs, it wasn't much better than where they were. Whereas with on the Europe side, eventually they could take leisure in France. And it just shows the mentality and how, and it you just see it on the soldiers' faces. I strongly recommend if you watched Band of Brothers to watch the Pacific. I enjoy this one, in my opinion, more than Band of Brothers. I really enjoy Band of Brothers. That should be watched. If you can handle it, that should be watched by everyone who can handle it with the blood and guts. It's definitely a need to watch. I think you should definitely watch this more, though. But to get the whole experience of World War II, both campaigns, Europe side and the Japan side, you need to watch both. I just like this more because I feel like they focused more on the characters than they did in Band of Brothers. And I appreciated that. And you saw you see the breakdown that this had on these men more than you did in Band of Brothers. And I really like that. I'm sorry I rambled. I know this is a lot longer than some of my others have been. I apologize. I'll try to bring it down for future ones. Hopefully, Hacksaw Ridge tomorrow won't be as long. If you watched this whole thing, thank you. If not, I understand. Please like, subscribe, and comment, and let me know. Do you agree with me? Do you think, from what you know and from what you've seen and watched and learned in school, do you think the Japan campaign was worse than the Europe campaign on our soldiers? And anyone who fought or anyone who is fighting for our independence, for our freedom, thank you. I appreciate it. I hope everyone has a great day. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment. It helps. And I will be doing Hacksaw Ridge from 2016, I think it was released, with Andrew Garfield tomorrow. Thank you. I hope everyone has a great day. Bye bye.